Welcome back to the Secret Turnabout. And actually, it's been a day off, 4 months since I last played, so I did have a quick refresher of myself. So this guy was accused of stealing case files. We're getting a bit into the actual case. And my prediction was that the child witness, not him, but grew up to be the lawyer we're playing as. But who knows? We really don't have that much information to go off yet. But we are in the middle of cross-examining Miles Edgeworth, whose office the files were kept in. Yeah. So let's hear his testimony about the security measures. As it stands, the security measures in place make a break-in near impossible. We have security guards posted at every entrance, and private entrances require biometrics. Each floor has security cameras strategically placed at each stairway and elevator. Each prosecutor's office has an electronic lock, and each prosecutor has their own key. The only way to open the door that isn't yours is with the use of the master key. Any attempt to break past any of these defences would result in an alarm being raised. Simply put, the only way to get into my office is right through the front door.
I see. So breaking by a third party would be all but impossible. Under these circumstances, the defence doesn't have much of a leg to stand on.
Mr. Gambit's attempts to frighten this court with ghost stories about dead children have done nothing for his case at all. After all, security measures in place make breaking into the office a near possibility. And the only one who could have gone to the office at the time of the crime was the defendant. There's no room for doubt in this case. I believe this shall be the final cross-examination for this larceny trial. Do you not agree, Mr. Gambit? Oh, has the sprite changed? I'm pretty sure it's different from last time I saw it. It did say earlier the trial was edited, so I think, I mean, it was 4 months, but I'm pretty sure I don't remember him looking like that. The defense has no objections. Put on a happy face, Gambit. All you need to worry about is proving that a third party did break in that day. Then the opportunity to get Vera on the stand will present itself to you. I already know how it happened. I went over it with Steele in the lobby. Now it's just a matter of presenting proof. I believe the time has come, Mr. Gambit. The time for hard evidence. If you have any intentions of proving your case, there can be no further delay.
Indeed. The court shall accept no more speculation. If this cross-examination provides no evidence to prove the existence of a third party, I shall immediately declare my verdict. Have I understood, defence?
Yes, Your Honour.
Very well then. Let this be the final cross-examination of the trial.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Maybe we can wrap this video up. No, I'll probably continue for at least a bit into whatever the next part is. Because he said he wants to get Vera on the stand, so I don't know if that's gonna mean the trial's extended by another day or what. Is there any reason why so many security measures are in place? I mean, it's not as if this place is a bank vault or anything. I think you underestimate the value of what our office holds, Mr. Gambit. How so? It's true, in our office we do not hoard money, gold or jewellery. However, you could argue that we hold the most valuable treasure of all. Evidence! Precisely. There are a plentiful amount of case files for which our office has been entrusted. Case files that some unsavoury individuals would use any means to get their hands on. contrary to why the defendant's charges say that. For that reason, we are just as at risk for being robbed as the world's wealthiest banks. It should then only be reasonable that we want to secure what our office holds. Beyond that, it is also our duty to protect our prosecutors as well. Why would they be a risk? Being a prosecutor is, at times, very dangerous. There exist those who are corrupt enough to try and change the course of a trial by extreme measures. The ends justify the means. Who knew being a prosecutor was such a precarious position? So to reiterate, it's a combination of the evidence you hold and the prosecutors' lives that necessitates such drastic security measures. Correct. However, you must know, there was once a time where security was more lax. Because of this more lax security, certain incidents started to occur. 9 years ago, a body was found in the parking lot of the prosecutor's office. And 2 years after that, another one found in the offices themselves. Your own office, right? And the first one being my favourite case, Rise from the Ashes. These incidents were enough for us to get the memo that security had to be tightened. Oh, is that all it takes? In any case, security measures are in place for very good reasons. Would the witness please go into more detail on some of the measures that exist to keep our officers safe? Although to be fair, with Rise from the Ashes, these measures wouldn't really have stopped that crime. I'm not going to spoil it though, too much. I assume if you're watching this video, you've probably played the first game, but on the off chance you haven't, because I actually watched the anime before I played the trilogy, so Rise from the Ashes was the only case I went into blind, and I'm glad of that fact because it was such a good case. What are all these entrances, if you don't mind me asking? There are 3 entrances into the prosecutor's office. The one visitors are required to enter takes them by the front desk. There, they must check in using their name and the time they arrived. They must also provide a state-approved ID card before they can enter. And the other 2 entrances are these private entrances you mentioned earlier. Correct. There's an elevator entrance in the parking lot of the office, as well as a back entrance, which is mainly used by security guards. You said earlier that these entrances use biometrics. A fingerprint scanner, of course. Naturally, there is a record kept of how many times the scanner was used, and whose fingerprint to scan.
Technology is certainly evolving at a truly terrifying rate these days. I wonder when the day will come that this court will use fingerprint scanners too.
Who knows? That day may have already come. I do have one more question for the witness before we move on to the next point. Yes, what is your question? Would it be at all possible for someone other than a prosecutor to use these private entrances? The possibility does exist, I suppose. However, I think the only possible way for them to do so is by being escorted by a prosecutor. In other words, they'd be under constant surveillance the entire time. There would certainly be no opportunity for them to go and steal from the offices. Right, well, I'm not too concerned about proving opportunity right now. I should just stall until I can get a better understand.
In any event, I believe this court better understands the nature of these entrances. Mr. Edgeworth, please continue describing the security measures in more detail.
Who's in charge of watching the security footage? This is a security office station in the parking lot. All the footage from the security cameras is watched by the guard station there. The exact schedules of who was there at what time? I admit I'm not quite sure of. Those schedules are mainly handled by the chief of security. Did the security guard station there that day notice anyone else enter your office? Unfortunately, they cannot say. The security cameras are focused on monitoring those who come from the stairs and elevators. They do not typically point towards any doors in particular. The amount of cameras that would take to monitor every door would require a hefty budget. In other words, you don't want to upset taxpayers. There's one thing they make quite certain, however. Manny Steele was very much caught on camera around the time of the crime. Sorry if I vanished for a moment there, you know. Is someone ghost tricking in here? That's a reference to a Capcom game. Yeah, well, anyway. What if they were away from their post when it happened? They wouldn't be able to see anything then. It wouldn't really matter either way. Huh? The security cameras record footage as they watch the perimeter. Even if none of the guards were watching, we'd still have footage of the event. Indeed! We wouldn't need the testimony of the guards to prove our point. Or do you not remember this from yesterday? Oh, right. I forgot that footage was shown, to be honest. Rest assured, however, that if it was revealed that some of the guards left without reason, there would be dire consequences. And I would take a threat like that very seriously from a guy who can vanish into thin air. Note to self, don't get on Edgeworth's bad side.
Regardless, it's clear that Manny Steele was the only man seen on camera during the time. We must now ask, is there any security for any of the officers themselves?
How good is the security on these locks? If you had a murder occur in your own office and you didn't think to put cameras in the offices as well, just in the corridors. Security on the doors is state of the art. The locks are made of a titanium steel alloy, so you can't simply bash them open. It will resist practically any lockpicking method you throw at it as well. Even if you try to open the door by force, the alarms will go off. What are you guarding? The Declaration of Independence?
So, in other words, you know, to open the doors with the intended method.
Correct. You say that each prosecutor has their own key, right? Does that mean the prosecutors can't use their keys to open another prosecutor's door? A very astute observation, Mr. Gambit. It's true. In order to open a lock to a door, you need that specific prosecutor's key. As this court can see, you and the defendant are not the same person. How could Mr. Steele have possibly opened your door without your key? Oh wow, you're such a smart guy. We'd never even realised this if it wasn't for you. Oh, will you shut the... Oh, you shut the hell up! Mr. Gambit, we've been over this already. Or perhaps all this talk of ghosts has frightened you so much you can't remember. In other words, all this talk of ghosts tricked you. Aha! I can do it too! Yeah, shut up, I already made that reference. Funny, because you could never seem to remember me saying, I don't believe in ghosts. If you'll recall from yesterday, the defendant had a secret weapon at his disposal. One that could have very easily allowed him to get inside Mr. Edgeworth's office. If our Chief Prosecutor wouldn't mind going over the secret weapon again... Just so our inept defense attorney could have his memory jogged. Yeah, Payne, you go ahead and keep being the most pretentious one in the room. Ugh. The master key is normally kept at that security booth, correct? Indeed. We have it in case prosecutors forget their keys elsewhere. It wouldn't do well for us not to be able to come into work because we forgot our keychains. And that night you believe the defendant called a security guard to have him open the door that wasn't his? We do, in fact. Such an idea. Isn't it, our president? Why were you laughing there, you weirdo? What, you mean this has happened before? Yes, about 7 years ago. By another man who attempted to burgle my office. Maybe ghosts are real, because this man's office is haunted. Tisk, how remarkably creative. the chief prosecutor's use of a method has already failed in the past? It's no wonder he got caught. Objection! But yesterday, whoa, even I can do it now. The defense proves that the defendant couldn't use that method. The officer the defendant asked to have opened was his own. The prosecution asserts the witness was merely confused. I can't believe you rookies get so hung up on things so easily explained away. That's literally my job, bozo.
I do not believe we'll get very far by arguing endlessly about this particular point. Right now, what the defense needs is solid proof of third party. Until then, we must agree that the prosecution's theory is the most logical assumption.
No fair.
In any event, the witness may continue his testimony.
So, are the alarms triggered automatically? Yeah, indeed. The automatic alarms are triggered by trying to break into an entrance or office door. Even if someone could feasibly break open the door to my office, we'd instantly be made aware of their presence. So it would be difficult to break into the office the normal way. But what if the true culprit's entrance was anything but normal? I'm afraid I don't follow. It's simple, really. All the real culprit would have to do is find a way inside without triggering the alarm. Then they could get away scot-free. That's quite a big claim to be making, Rookie. However, such a thing is not possible. If there was a way to break into the room without triggering the alarms, it surely would have been discovered by now. Miss Edgeworth, have you tested the alarms to make sure they work? Naturally. The alarms at the entrance and doors to the offices are in perfect working order. Am I speaking there? Or is that the universe speaking for me? I'm not comfortable with that. And there you have it! So, you're saying the only way to get inside the office is through the intended method? Correct, or to put it another way. Are you absolutely certain of that? Do you propose another idea? Well, let's say that the thief found another way inside the room, like an air duct, for instance. Under these circumstances, it would be possible to enter the room through different means. Close, but no cigar, Rookie! The prosecution has already thought of the air duct idea you just proposed. The police already searched through the ducts the day of the investigation. Their report showed the air duct was absolutely caked with dust. Well, the air duct thing was only an example. I'm merely suggesting there could be another way into the office other than the door. And I'm merely suggesting you should stop wasting our time with baseless theories. There's no evidence to suggest that anyone got inside the room through any other method. Thus, you wish to claim once again that it was a ghost suddenly phased through the walls? Will you stop it with the ghost thing?
The prosecution is absolutely correct. The time for speculation has long since been over. The defense has anything they wish to present to the court, let it be through evidence.
Evidence that a different entrance was used. Of course, I already know I have something of the sort. I just need to present it to the court. Alright, let's think about how I want to go about this. The only way I can get better understand is to prove that the third party got inside. However, as long as Edgeworth and Payne keep insisting such a thing is impossible, I'll never be able to reach that goal. There really is no time to waste. Who knows how long I'll have until my time is up, and I won't be able to carry out my plan. All I have to do is show proof that there was a way to enter without triggering the security. Then everything will fall into place. I'm pretty sure it's the scratch marks. We'll just go through all of our pieces of evidence because it's been a while for me. By turning these packages on my line, I don't really have anywhere to put it on my vest or keep it in my pocket. A strange remote was found at the scene of the crime by police. It doesn't seem to have a purpose. Bears the mark of forger Vera mission, which is kind of weird. This is probably what we're going to use to get better understand. Strange marks found in the window at the scene of the crime. In the lock, similar scratches were found in the defendant's office window. Yeah. Interesting. Motorized pulley. Created by Verimission. A device created by Verimission uses a motor to use a rope as a pulley. It works by using a remote controller. Yeah, that's also weird. Blackmail received by the defendant. A type letter to the defendant making him follow the orders of someone named the Spirit of Seething. We'll go ahead and read this again. It's kind of weird that it seems to stretch off the screen here. So the one who saved my life, your noble action inspired by a shameful career. While you may have kept my body safe, your actions have forever tainted my soul. I'm prepared to reveal the entire truth from the case 13 years ago, and unless you something, that probably says, but for some reason it's not letting me read that. If I need to read it, then I can copy and paste that somewhere, but yeah, it seems this update has made certain check options go weirdly like this. But yeah, that's basically... Seething is the surname of the family, I think, that was involved in that case. The murder case from the case file that he was trying to steal. He was prosecuting. He's a bit of a sad sack. The defendant in this case, prosecutor accused of stealing some case files from the chief's office. Payne, despite his experience and much presence, a bit of a pushover. Victim of velocity in this case, and the recently appointed chief prosecutor, probably aims to deal with corruption in the prosecutor's office. An artist with a history of forging evidence and creating things for dubious folks, has been working with the police to make up for her past transgressions. Now, the only way to get into my office is right through the front door.
Objection!
A break-in is impossible. The only way in is through the front door? That's quite a claim to be making. And why would you say that? It's actually very simple to explain, really. Your statement contains a blatant contradiction. I beg your pardon. Simply put, there's no way the true culprit entered through the front door. Don't tell me this is just more of your ghost stories, Rookie! We searched all over that room. We found no traces of another entrance. If you're going to say there's another way in, you have to say what it was. Gladly. Huh? Your Honor, I ask that the court take a look at this. What am I looking at? These, Your Honor. Yeah. The fact that this happens twice, I actually think that there have been a number of issues with the update to the site that seems to have happened, because when I was playtesting the Mentor's Turnabout the other day, which is the third case of Dark Case Saga that me and Dr. Von K are working on, I noticed some error with the merge with the next frame feature that resulted in a different character's name showing up for a brief second because their sprite changed while someone else was talking, if that makes sense. And it seems like this happens here because when I first saw this, I was like, oh, it's just a simple mistake. But no, this has got to be a glitch with the new update. Same with this. Yeah, that stretches right off the screen. Might have to report that if someone else hasn't already. Anyway, these, Your Honour, are scratch marks. They were found on the window of the Chief Prosecutor's office near the lock. Similar markings were also found in the window to my client's office.
Mr. Gambit, surely you want suggesting?
Someone did indeed break into the Chief Prosecutor's office that day, but they didn't enter through the door. They climbed in after picking the lock on the window. This is insane! You can't seriously claim that the culprit came through the window. After all, the Chief Prosecutor's office is on a top-floor building. Indeed, such a claim would be rather unbelievable. The culprit would need to climb up the side of the building. Firstly. Beyond that, he would have to make sure not to get spotted by security as he did so. Such a feat seems rather far-fetched.
Indeed, it sounds rather implausible. And yet, crazier claims have been proved in this courtroom before.
Shall we bring in the pulley? Your Honor! You can't seriously believe the defense right now!
Make no mistake, Mr. Payne, I do not fully believe the story myself. Mr. Gambit, the burden now lies on you. It seems that your current theory will need further explanation.
Of course, Your Honor. And as for those kind of glitches where the character disappears, that's more typically an issue with the sprite, so whenever image hosting thing is being used. So we've seen that with Gambit and Edgeworth, so it seems to just be the custom sprites this time, not the ones that are built into the site, like Judge, for example, and Paint. Of course, Your Honor. As it stands, there will be no way for the culprit to climb the building without being noticed. The question then becomes, how did the culprit get to the window? Actually, I may have just the thing to explain that.
Very well, Mr. Gambit, please present your evidence to the court. However, you cannot explain away the holes from your theory. There will be consequences.
Of course, Your Honor. Alright, it's time to bring that evidence out. This evidence explains how the true culprit climbed to the office window. Take that! Your Honor, I propose a question to this court. Why would the culprit need to climb up the building at all?
What do you mean, defense?
Let's think about the facts for a moment. If the culprit climbed up the side of the building, he would have been immediately noticed. There will be no room for doubt that said person will be the guilty party. So is this the mission of defeat on the defense's part? Are you finally admitting that your little theory makes no sense at all? Not at all. Yes, not any sense at all. No, what I mean... Anyway. The evidence I present will now make everything clear. I ask the court to take a look at this.
What is this device, defense?
This, Your Honor, is a motorized pulley. It was created a few days before the day of the crime. Such devices have a multitude of uses for different jobs. This one in particular can be bolted onto any surface. You're suggesting? I am. The culprit didn't need to climb up the building to get to the window at all. All they did was take the elevator or the stairs to the roof, and then climb down using the rope connected to the pulley.
Order! Order! This theory of yours is most intriguing, Mr. Gambit. To think that the culprit could have come from the roof this entire time.
Indeed, who would have imagined? Of course, you might have been able to piece it together earlier. And the prosecution not overlooked the window scratches. Well, you see... This is truly an unfathomable oversight on your part, Mr. Payne. You can expect this to come during your next salary evaluation. Oof! Ha! In your face, Payne. Now then, I suspect he'll try and fight back any minute now. Right on cue. It's not over yet. Defense's case has not been fully proven, Your Honor.
Oh, how so?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. There's no proof this pulley was actually used for the crime. You sure about that, bro? I wouldn't be so sure about that, Mr. Payne. What do you mean? There is a way to prove that the pulley is connected to the crime. You see, Mr. Payne, this entire time the defense has had a witness prepared. What? How intriguing. It seems, Mr. Payne, that rookie defense attorney has been playing you the entire time. Mr. Gambit seemed like he was blindly stumbling around as he came to a solution. But the truth is, he's been in control of this trial the entire time. Well, not everything has happened as I expected. But yeah, that's more or less the gist of it.
Now then, Mr. Gambit, I think we all must ask, just who is this witness of yours?
Your Honor, this witness is someone who can shine a light on the true nature of the motorized pulley. They will prove once and for all the wicked crimes. They will prove once and for all the wicked crimes it was used for. The time has finally come to call her in. Your Honor, the defense calls to the stand Winston Payne.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gambit. I don't see how calling this person will help matters.
Well, you see, Your Honor, seems like the defense was just bluffing after all. I do believe this is proof that the rookie's claims are not to be trusted. Wait, hold on. I swear I was just joking.
Courtroom is not a place for jokes, Mr. Gambit. You may consider this to be the punchline.
Well, that's the stupidest thing I've done so far.
The defense is finished making a mock of this court with a question to ask.
Does money steal work? No, it's not got unique dialogue for each one. The witness is someone who could try to... I'll just try it. There's only one more profile. No.
That's for a mission. Forger. Order, order, everyone calm down. Mr. Gambit, I understand. What would Vera Mission be involved in this case?
Your Honor, Vera Mission has renounced her former ways ever since State vs. Mission. However, she still does commission work. Being an evidence forge, she has a variety of different crafts that others are interested in.
Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. It was Vera Mission who built this motorized pulley. Ha! A likely story. What was even found? Doesn't it say? Where's the proof that the forgers would have made this? Oh, Mr. Payne, you really don't know? It's exceedingly easy to prove. What are you talking about? Then believe Mr. Payne, and he's referring to the mission mark. Mission mark? Effectively, it is Vera Mission's signature. Back when Vera forged evidence, her father used it to identify forgeries made by her. It essentially acted as a way for them to back out of a case if it was deemed too dangerous. Oh, so are you admitting to having presented forged evidence? You truly are no better than the great fake Phoenix Wright! That is not what I'm saying. Didn't you just listen to what I said? Vera Mission has renounced the ways of forgery. Oh, she still does commissions. The mission mark still stuck around as a way to identify a piece that she made. In any case, Mr. Edgeworth, would you please verify that this is the real mission mark? It's true. I've seen this mark more times than I would like to admit as of late. That is indeed the mission mark. This is the real deal.
Order, please! So it is true. Vera Mission did indeed make this pulley. But then, does that mean the defense is accusing her as an accomplice?
I don't think so, Your Honor. However, I'd like the court to hear her side of the story, if possible.
Very well, the court shall accept the defense's request. Bailiff, please escort Vera Mission to the stand.
So that was not the very last testimony like you claimed it was, Your Honor. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court record. Witness? Name and occupation? Mr. Payne, give her time, please. She's only just learned of how she was used for this wicked crime. It's only natural that she will be nervous to take the stand. Though, of course, I also don't want to wait too long.
Indeed, Mr. Payne, try not to be too callous towards the young lady.
Why me? Everything will be okay, Vera. I promise you won't be in any trouble. Just please give us your name and occupation. Fair mission. Reform forger. Thank you?
You're getting a bit rusty, it seems, Mr. Payne. You used to be such a gentleman back in the day.
I can still be a gentleman!
No, it's come to our attention that you have a connection to this crime. Is this true?
Mr. Payne isn't the only one who's rusty, Your Honor. I'm sorry. If I had known what it would be used for. So then you did make this pulley. But then, who'd you make it for? I don't know. Now I'm out of the forgery business, I try my best to stay out of trouble. I've been helping the police track down those I have worked with in the past. However, I still do commission work. I thought that now that the mission mark is public knowledge, nobody would dare to use my creations for evil. Clearly, I was wrong. So when I received a significant sum of cash in the mail with a letter detailing their request, and a request for a remote controlled motorized pulley, I truly didn't think anything of it, even despite the fact that my client asked for an anonymity.
So then, you never met your client in person?
Unfortunately, no. The letter requested the remote and the pulley be dropped off at a secret spot. Once I did, I got a letter confirming that they had been received. Then the defense lawyer over there approached me yesterday. He asked me to be in the gallery for today's trial, but I wasn't sure why. When he presented the pulley to the court, I suddenly knew why. But surely you must have been at least a little bit suspicious, yes? Didn't it cross your mind that such a device could be used for a crime? Mr. Payne, you must understand, Vera's been sheltered most of her life. You still might not yet know how to identify those kinds of red flags. What's important is that she has told us the truth. And if you remember what she said in detail, everything suddenly falls into place. Everything falls into place? Vera has just confirmed that she is the one who made the remote control pulley. With this, we need only examine one last piece of evidence. One piece of evidence that will prove Money Steele's innocence. What? The remote, right? Because it says use a remote controller.
Order! Mr. Gambit, are you saying that there's a piece of evidence that can get Mr. Steele a full acquittal?
I worked so hard to get to this moment. To think, after all this time, that justice I fought so hard to see through to the end is just mere seconds away. Your Honor, once piece of evidence is true, all I need. The miracle never happened. The correct spelling never happened. Let this be the one that decides Money Steele's fate.
Very well. The defense is adamant that one piece of evidence is all that he needs, and only one piece he shall be allowed to present.
Hands are shaking, arms are sweating. Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on the sweater already. I could barely take it. I'm more excited for this than I've been for anything in my life.
Now then, Mr. Gambit, this is your final chance. Show us the proof that will clear Money Steele's name once and for all.
Your Honor, I am an attorney. Take a look at this, Your Honor. It proves Manny Steele's innocence once and for all.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gambit. I'm afraid it doesn't prove much of anything.
But, well, no. I can't believe I scored by any chance like that.
Unfortunately, you asked for only one chance, Mr. Gambit. This means that I am forced to uphold my end of the bargain. That's enough! I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defense's case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. This court finds the defendant, Manny Steele. The defendant will surrender himself to the court's care to undergo a regular trial at the High Court within a month's time. Court is adjourned.
No. Really? I'm gonna upset this. Don't worry, I have time travel. That's just how layers in this universe work. Your Honor, I asked the court to recall Vera's testimony. I received a significant sum of cash in the mail with a letter detailing the request. A request for a remote-controlled motorized pulley. I truly did not think anything of it. The letter requested that the remote and pulley be dropped off at a secret spot. Once I did, I got a letter confirming that they had been received. Do we need a flashback? This was like seconds ago. That's it! Well, to be fair, that makes it more accurate to the main series games, especially the later ones. The pulley was remote controlled. As it just so happens, we do have a remote in the court record. Once that just so happens to bear them. Did you make the same mistake twice? Seriously? Within like 5 minutes of each other? What? Once that just so happens to bear the mission mark. The one left behind at the crime scene. You can't be certain that remote. You can't be certain that the remote found at the scene is for the pulley. It's just pure conjecture. Getting desperate, are we, Mr. Payne? There's a very easy way to prove whether or not the remote works for this pulley. All we have to do is use it. Right here in this courtroom. No! To think! Such a plan could be carried out by a rookie!
It seems the do-or-die moment is finally upon us at last. If this remote truly works for this pulley, it shall prove it was used in the crime. And as such, when a new alternative thoroughly proven, Manny Steele shall walk out this court as a free man. The court shall give us approval for the test to be conducted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's the moment of truth. It's time to prove what really happened on that day.
Nothing happened.
I mean, it looks broken, doesn't it? What?
It seems, at long last, we have reached a conclusion. The defense's theory was incorrect.
It all makes sense now. Why didn't I see it before? Mr. Payne? I believe this is proven a clear contradiction in the defense's logic. Let's assume for a moment your theory wasn't just proven to a hogwash right there. The remote was used for the pulley, or to be found at the crime scene. Just think about it for a moment. The criminal would need the remote not to escape the crime scene. The truth of the matter is, the pulley wasn't related to the crime at all. The remote could have just been something for a case the search was overseeing. There was never any break-in through the window that night. Couldn't you just ask Edgeworth?
I must agree with the prosecution. It seems that the defense was ultimately unable to prove its case.
Oh, how fitting the defense kept bringing up ghosts the entire trial. Because that's exactly what its theory just became. No! In that moment, it seemed like the trial was over. It was a tale as old as time, really. Aiden Gambit, the hotshot lawyer, bet everything on one moment, and he lost. That was how it seemed like it was going to go, but then something happened. Something that nobody could have possibly predicted. Nope, I got nothing. Who's that? Rivera?
What was that scream? Mr. Steele, was that you?
It wasn't me, Yorna. Honest. And who? Who just screamed right now? Oh, was it yours?
Yorna, if I may give my thoughts.
Oh, never mind.
It sounded like the scream came from your chambers. That's impossible. My chamber should be locked at this time.
That's just what I heard, Yorna. I suddenly feel uneasy.
I can't help but feel that you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. Bailiff, secure the defendant. Nobody leaves this courtroom until we deem it is safe to do so. Mr. Gambit, Mr. Payne, you are to follow me to my chambers to assess the situation.
Yes, Yorna! Yes, Yorna.
Very well, this trial is suspended until further notice. Everyone, please remain seated.
12:49 PM, District Court, Judge Chambers number 3. There are a lot of things one would expect to see when walking into a judge's chambers. One of the things you'd expect to find is, well, a judge. In a way, it's exactly what they found. The presiding judge's neighbour from one room over. Is it Canadian judge? He somehow snuck his way into the locked chambers of the presiding judge that day. What I doubt anybody expected to find, however, was what he was standing over.
What is this?
I'm not sure what that is. There's nothing on it.
Why is there a body in my chambers? Judge Early, what have you done?
I swear I just found him like this, sir.
It wasn't me. Please believe me.
Killing a man in the chambers? How could you? Wait, I recognize that man. No! It can't be! Mr. Payne, Mr. Gambit, your eyes don't deceive you. The man you are currently standing over, the man Jujiro just killed, is defense attorney Corley Rupture. No way! Corley Rupture, dead right in front of me. Because of your fate, justice, or karmic retribution, but Corley Rupture is dead. The man would never be able to answer for his crimes of forgery. The trial of the lawsuit that happened in Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth's office was indefinitely put on hold until this matter was resolved. Thankfully, the presiding judge had an ironclad alibi and was not considered suspect. In his place, however, was the judge who had claimed to have found the body. Aiden Gambit, Winston Payne, Miles Edgeworth, and the rest who found the body were questioned until the night. This is where the story of Aiden Gambit's big trial ends, because very soon there'll be time for a new play to take center stage. Heading to Act 2. This would actually be a good place to call it. I overextended last episode, so hopefully you don't mind that this one is going to be about 10 minutes shorter. Because it's nice to end on the end of the act. So next time we start, we can start fresh with Act 2. At least it doesn't look like we're going to be having a super long case like a certain other case we played this year. Turnabout at the Lighthouse of Lunacy, if you want to go and check that one out. It was fun. We're going to find out, I assume, probably the murder trial of this Judge Early person. or could be something completely different. Who knows? But looks like we're gonna have a new player take center stage. That probably be the new attorney character, right? But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for the Secret Turnabout Act 2.